Senator Katie Britt has amassed quite a bit of money for her re-election campaign, which is a couple years off. In a July filing to the Federal Election Commission, Britt raised $779,000 for the second quarter of 2025. Britt now has a total of $5 million in her campaign war chest. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs from the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bond Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
If you get a cough, please leave the room.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes expected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of it.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results. This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We come to think socialist Cooney.
Snap broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman.
You don't conduct yourself with democracy.
Jenny Clark.
Welcome into the program here. Another hot and humid day out of Montgomery, Alabama. Plenty going on in the world. Donald Trump just put out this message. In part, it reads, Happy Crypto Week. And there are now rumors even that they will announce. Now, this might just be getting people all hot and bothered with no delivery. It might just be straight up foreplay. Excuse me, pardon me for starting the show that way. But that's how it might feel. But there's rumors they could remove capital gains taxes on Bitcoin. That would be amazing. But here is what Donald John Trump, the president of these here United States, put out this morning. Happy Crypto Week. The House will soon vote on a tremendous bill to make America the undisputed #1 leader in digital assets. Nobody does it better. The Genius Act is going to put our great nation light years ahead of China, Europe, and all others who are trying endlessly to catch up, but they just can't do it. Digital assets are the future, and we are leading by a lot. Get the first vote done this afternoon. All Republicans should vote yes. This is our moment. Digital assets, genius, clarity. It is all part of making America great again, bigger and better than ever before. We are leading the world, and we'll work hard with the Senate and the House to get more legislation on this passed. I love that message. There's been a little bit of a softening. I'm worried that Doge has been put on a leash. I can be proven wrong if they actually fall through with some big rescission packages. The $9 billion one to get rid of USAID and the funding for things like NPR and a few other things stuffed in there. I'm all for that, but $9 billion's nothing, which is a shame to say, but $9 billion is nothing when we're talking tens of trillions, almost 40 trillion. It seems guaranteed to be the national debt in the next 2 years. So we can avoid hitting that $5 trillion debt ceiling increase if you actually do big rescission packages. I would love to see that. I'm also a little concerned that we haven't put things to bed in terms of war. Trump quite upset with Vladimir Putin. Financial Times reporting that Trump told Zelensky, "Can you hit Moscow?" Now, the White House is pushing back, saying that's not what the president told Vladimir Zelensky. But it is very clear that Trump is a bit done with Putin for the moment, calling a lot of what he says beautiful talks, beautiful conversations, and it's a bunch of BS. I go talk to the first lady, and then I'm like, oh, I just had breakthroughs there with Vladimir. And she goes, well, he just bombed like a hospital or something. So more weapons are on the way to Ukraine. And it seems like Trump and team are turning up the heat. Did I vote for this? No, did not vote for that. I did not vote for more and more deficit spending. I did not vote for more and more war and mayhem and carnage. Now, of course, when it comes to foreign policy, when it comes to war, especially a war the United States isn't directly involved in, though we're ponying up all the money, it's clearly our proxy war using the Ukrainians, and they like being used, don't get me wrong. But this isn't what I voted for. I voted for the war to end. I didn't vote for endless carnage in Gaza. I didn't vote for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff to just be, put to bed. All the conspiracies are just false. Y'all move along. Nothing to see here. A lot of pushback coming from all sorts of corners of the administration. But I will say, as I look at not only this announcement of Happy Crypto Week and this legislation moving forward in the House and hopefully in the Senate did pass the Genius Act on the stablecoin stuff. There's also the Clarity Act, which is, I guess, a market structure bill, as they call it. This is so, certain things can't just be changed if you end up with a Democrat president or any sort of president. You don't want it to be at the whim and wish of the executive branch and all the regulatory folks. You want to actually put into law, here's the rules of the road when it comes to crypto. So I hope that Congress gets on top of this. I did vote for Trump going all in on Bitcoin. I did vote for the run of the bulls on Bitcoin and on the larger cryptocurrency ecosystem. This rising digital economy, I think, is going to blow people's hair back. It's already starting. But in the next 5-10 years, I don't think you'll recognize the global economy because of steps now being taken. In the same way that you saw the shift from you go to Barnes & Noble or you go to the library and you get the actual hard copy book. And I know there are some folks that still want the hard copy. I get it. But now you have almost every book ever published, ever written, available at your fingertips digitally. Same thing for music, especially old music, incredible performances of classical music or that obscure jazz, like live back and forth with like Bill Evans Like you can find whatever. Oh, what's that old pop song I used to listen to in the 80s? It's all there. You don't have to go to the store. You don't have to get the 8-track or the cassette tape or the CD. You could do vinyl, but that's more to feel the vibe, so to speak. It's warmer, don't you know, folks? But the digital transformation of music clearly changed the industry. The digital transformation in general has changed the world. Obviously, the podcast scene has put the traditional corporate media back on its heels. This is all to be said. Those things will compare very small to the digital transformation of the economy. Not parts of the economy, not the book industry, not the music industry, yada, yada, yada. It is going to be a massive transformation when it comes to finance and money itself. And speaking of the money of the nation, inflation numbers came in lower than expected. This is leading Trump and team, of course, to renew their calls to cut the Federal Reserve rates, cut interest rates. Trump wants a 300 basis points. I guess it's a fancy way to say it. He wants a 3% cut. It would be the largest cut ever if they went that far. They probably won't go that far. But Mr. Too Late, as Trump has now coined the nickname for Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, he is indeed too late on this. And you're already seeing folks come out saying we're looking for Jerome Powell's replacement. Scott Bessent in particular said we're already looking for his replacement, said that publicly, I believe on a CNBC or something interview earlier today. And you have folks within the Federal Reserve System that are, well, really calling for heads to roll. And you always love the folks that are in the institutions that then get out. The former congressman, the former state senator, the former governor, like the former, they don't have the heat of actually having to run a thing and the sort of Damocles over their head as they sit on a throne of power. No, the former gets to tell, well, the unvarnished truth. And former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh, like Wash, but with an R, Warsh, considered to be a top contender to succeed Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, said the central bank needs, quote unquote, regime change. In an interview with Maria Bartiromo, he says, I think we need regime change at the Fed. And that's not just about the chairman. It's about a whole range of people. It's about changing their mindset and their models. And frankly, it's about breaking some heads because the way they've been doing business is not working. So I start off by saying there's a lot of stuff that's come up, a lot of divisions that have come up, a lot of disappointments, honestly, that have come up that I did not vote for. I want peace. I want a smaller government. But I also want some other things to get done. And the number one thing here is going to be the nation's money, is going to be the nation's economy. And not just, as you heard Tucker Carlson talking about over the weekend, oh, the GDP's all juiced up. You want to see actual investment that creates Main Street opportunity, that allows small towns in this country to actually have a great lifestyle and a great living again. That's what I think people voted for the most, even if they didn't vocalize it. It is all about the economy, stupid. It's all about that Main Street economy. If people's dollars go farther, if people have gainful employment, not they're stringing together a few part-time jobs, they have one job with great benefits, great pay. This is all working out quite well. So despite all the disappointments, it is good to see the energy this week in the crypto space. There's also a big energy and innovation summit the president will be speaking at later. But you've had tech giants, energy giants, as well as a few other cabinet members there, Mr. Howard Lutnick in particular, laying out, well, here's the plan with bringing more AI centers to the United States, developing the energy needed to power those AI centers. And speaking of AI, Grok, Elon Musk, you've gone too far. You've gone too far with your companion function on Grok. I refuse to update my app. He's gone too far now. He's gone too far for me. It's a new little function on Grok called Companions. And one is like a cute little like raccoon or squirrel or something like that named Rudy, and it's incredibly foul-mouthed and rude. I mean, it might be like, oh, that's just silly or whatever, and it's all in good fun, even if it is poor taste. But still, it creeps me out. It's like, why do I need a little cartoon furry animal like being more foul-mouthed than anybody I've ever met in my life, or even seen in the movies or on TV? Like, why do I need an AI that is embodied as a little animal, like a cartoon critter? It's creeping me out. But that's not exactly where he went too far. He went too far when one of the companions is named Annie, A-N-I, which I think is a play on anime. And it's like this little anime scantily clad girl that flirts and takes off her clothes and stuff. You've gone too far, Elon. We've got enough guys that don't get out of the house and don't get out and meet people. Elon's the one who constantly talks about the birth rate crisis, how we need more families and people producing more babies. And yet you drop into this world, Elon, with your Grok function, this little like anime thing that guys can flirt with and do much worse with. It's sad. It's like a demon. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And people have choice. Like, you don't have to use these things. But you drop that into the world. At the same time, you're getting Pentagon contracts. You're dropping, like, creepy anime girlfriend AI stuff. It's too much, too fast. Just go slow with it, sir. Go slow with it. Also, coming up, discuss a lot of these issues I just went over. At about 1:45, we are going to have Coach Tommy Tuberville, who will probably be the next great governor of the state of Alabama. But of course, he is still United States Senator. I want to touch on Jerome Powell. I want to touch on this big crypto week. I want to hit on some legislation he's been working on, which is helpful to the great state of Alabama. But in particular, I want to hit on crime in Alabama's big cities. It's one thing if Tuberville votes for Doge rescission packages. He's all for the new crypto laws that we're passing. He's all for firing Jerome Powell. But if he's going to be the next governor, I want to know what he thinks about, in particular, crime, I think, due to understaffed police departments in our major cities here in the state. And does he double down on the ideas that are already going forward? Do we do even more than that? I definitely want to pick his brain there. But again, Coach Tommy Tuberville will be joining us at about 1:45 or so in the second hour here of the program. Look forward to having that conversation with him. Been a while. And one of these days, love to have him in the studio so we can actually stretch out and talk about a bunch of different topics. So in the midst of all the disappointment over Epstein and not cutting the deficit and debt and whatnot, there are some signs of hope. I don't like the idea of the war heating up between Russia and Ukraine, but honestly, at a certain point, it doesn't look like Trump has just been sitting on his hands not trying. I think he has been trying. He's been trying every which way, every which angle. And Judge Napolitano, who's on vacation for 2 weeks, and his buddies have been saying since Trump got in there that the Russians think they're in a position of strength. They're not going to just give up on this. Why, if you think you're winning in the long run through a war of attrition, why would you give up your position for peace? Why not press that forward? And it looks like that's exactly what the Russians are doing. But again, in the midst of all these disappointments, despite some promises like the war will end on day one, there are some great things on the horizon, and you're now starting to see certain converts. The co-founder, I believe, of Home Depot just came out, was very much against Trump, voted against Trump, did not vote for him in the last election, is now saying, you know what, I've been made a believer. So as I'm writing about, as I continue to talk about on the show, it really comes back to it's all the economy, stupid. If you can win in a way that not only makes the fat cats and, top flight finance and banking and the Fortune 500 company world, S&P 500, but you're also helping that small business owner and those small towns develop as well, that's what's going to get you reelected. People will forgive a lot if their pocketbook feels a little thicker and their lives more secure and that they can build for the future and they can share in what we have come to know as cliche, but maybe we have to remake these cliches out of the mundane mud every once in a while, called the American dream. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Let's see who's on line one here. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey, it's TS. I need to give you some breaking news off the air.
Off the air, is this local stuff?
It's Prattville stuff.
Okay. And you can't do it right here on the air with me right now?
Well, I can't confirm it, okay?
Okay.
So what do you want me to do?
And go ahead and say it. We'll say, folks, this is not confirmed.
Okay, folks, this is not confirmed, but supposedly agents came into restaurants in Prattville, Alabama in the last few minutes and carried people away, and it will be breaking on the 3 o'clock news. That's all I know.
Immigration agents?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So raids here in the state of Alabama. In Prattville. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
what kind of restaurant? Like Italian?
Mexicano.
Oh, okay. Just had to check. Well, I appreciate you putting that out there. And though we can't confirm it, that seems like something that very well could happen. So,
okay. That's all.
Appreciate you giving us the scoop there, TS. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. Hey, I just went to a Mexican restaurant with them up in, well, it was more Wetumpka, it wasn't Prattville. Man, so much going on in Pratt Vegas and Wetumpka and Millbrook, as well as here in Montgomery. But folks, not only are they great people, Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings, always great spending some time with you guys, but they're also fantastic at what they do there at Dillon Rings. They are a full-service jewelry shop ready to help you with any and all of your jewelry needs. And I'm looking at their Facebook today, and today they're talking about how red is the color of our most intense emotions, love and anger, passion and fury. It's associated with objects of power and desire like fast cars and red roses. Early cultures treasured rubies for their similarity to the redness of the blood that flowed through their veins and believed that rubies held the power of life. Josh used rubies for the stripes in this reproduction he created of an antique pen. And so it is an American flag pen. I would wear something like that on my lapel, but it's a recreation of an antique. Yes, in the red stripes of the flag, like the flag behind me here on the stream, folks. That is all ruby. This is maybe one of your best pieces, Josh, if you're out there listening. I mean, it's hard to decide because this guy is making a beautiful handcrafted stuff day in and day out. Like if you want custom design work, whether it's refurbishing something, reimagining something, or making something like you dreamed it up, this guy can make it a reality. And given that its rubies are the birthstone for this month, get by there, see what they can put together for you. Of course, they have a great inventory across the board, high-end to everyday jewelry items. And they can do a lot of other things like repairs, spa treatments, appraisals. They'll buy old jewelry off you. We'll get into that a little more later in the program. But get by, see Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. They're the best. 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. Let's sneak another call in here. Line one, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Jay Tom here.
Hey, how are you?
Just fine. I heard the same thing the lady was talking about, but I heard that we talked it too.
In Wetumpka too.
It was on the 12 o'clock news.
Oh, okay.
It was a news flash. It wasn't on there for just a few seconds.
Okay.
That they were in the area.
Well, I'm not shocked by that. They're hitting places all over the place, and there are a lot of Mexican restaurants up that way.
Yeah, I hope they don't hit the one I like.
I know. Don't take that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Joey.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you a lot. Bye.
272-9228. Again, that's 334-272-9228. And honestly, that's another one of the promises that has definitely been kept. The border is shut, completely sealed. Pretty amazing accomplishment, honestly. I think even some of the most diehard Trump supporters are a little surprised by how quickly he was able to get that done. But it doesn't look like the Trump administration is slowing down anytime soon when it comes to enforcing immigration law and deporting more and more folks. And looks like not even our own backyard is spared the long arm of the law. Again, that's 334-272-9228. Or if you're not local, you can always call in 1-800-289-9228. That's 1-800-289-9228. I'm going to hit a quick break here. We'll be back right after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Blue Water Broadcasting here. It is your favorite Midday Diva Toy, and I'm here on location at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry at Pepper Tree Shopping Center for our Pod 4 donation drive. Now, I'm here until 12:30, and I would love for you guys to pull up right now and drop off your donations. We're looking for items like bedding, toys, treats, kitty litter, puppy pads, and more. Come on out right now. I'm here at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, Pepper Tree Shopping Center. You can drop your donations off right now. So come on out, guys. It is our Pod 4 donation drive, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. We're locked in right now with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker. J.P. Morgan's second quarter profit fell to $14.2 billion in the second quarter, but the bank did beat Wall Street expectations. CEO Jamie Dimon touted another strong performance by the bank, especially in its markets division, where revenue rose $8.9 billion. Change of plans from the White House. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says the technology giant has now won approval from the Trump administration to sell its advanced computer chips used for artificial intelligence to China. Key changes in Britain. UK Treasury Chief Rachel Reeves announcing plans to cut regulations for banks and various financial firms. Chief says they plan to pare back some rules introduced during the 2008 financial crisis. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The top item we're covering today is heat and humidity. And it could be the hottest day of the year so far, with a high temperature in the upper 90s, the heat index near the 105 danger range, and only isolated, widely separated storms in the afternoon and evening hour today. But we're also watching the Gulf, where a tropical disturbance crossing Florida into the northern Gulf will track westward, and eventually our rain chances will probably spike mid to late week. We'll be watching the future track carefully because the Gulf is our backyard. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you out whether you're looking to buy or sell a home here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for about 50 years now. So he's seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, built up a lot of great experience. And not only can they help you with buying and selling your property here, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Great idea in this market. And then the Goodson Group, the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs here in the great state of Alabama because of Bo's experience. And it's a very interactive course. It's a great way to become a more knowledgeable private player. Maybe learn to manage property that way. Or if you're just looking to study up, become a licensed real estate agent yourself, check out the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. You can always learn more online at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Let's go to Joey from Prattville. And how you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm pretty good. How about yourself, brother?
I'm pretty good. I'm just seeing a lot of folks after TS calls throwing things my way. Ice hitting all the Mexican restaurants with Tumpka, Holtville, Slap Out, Opelika, Prattville, all over in this area.
I was about to ask if we knew exactly what restaurant, but apparently it don't matter because it's going to be the one I like.
You're getting a few, but you got to wonder why these particular. I think it's a particular group that they're hitting. So
I do too. But wasn't it just the end of last week? Everybody was in outrage because it was announced that like the hotels and the farming industry were going to be exempt of deportation.
Right.
Were restaurants not included in that?
Well, I guess they're not hospitable enough. But I think some of that talk of amnesty and, say, exemptions from deportation, some of that the president brought on a few weeks ago, but I think that's being more pushed by folks that don't like the current deportation crackdown agenda.
Because if I can have a say-so in it, I say we do away with the hotel people and keep the restaurant people. Because I would rather have a bunch of illegal Mexicans here than I would rather have a bunch of illegal Indians and Iraqi and Pakistanis that own all these hotels.
So why do you like the Mexicans better than that other cohort?
Well, I'll put it like this. How many times have you seen these little slumlord motels, and there's several of them in Montgomery, that are owned, if you go around you look, the last name on the owner of every one of them is a Patel.
Mm-hmm.
See, but Patel is actually a standing. It's not necessarily a name. Once you reach so much prosperity over in their world, you automatically become a Patel. Okay? So these Patels buy up all these motels. Well, those motels are nothing but crime-ridden, drug havens. Half of them ain't got but like 10 cars overnight. How are you really paying all these bills? Because you ain't got the people in your room for it. I can justify the Mexicans paying for the restaurant because I'm one of the people giving them the money. But I'm not staying at no Patel motel. When I go out of town, I'm not staying in a slumlord motel. I don't want to be in that atmosphere. But I will go out of town and eat at a Mexican restaurant.
Right. Well,
Okay,
you got to wonder, though, are so many of those Patels, as you put it, building those motels with legal residency?
No, they're not building or filling. I mean, it's nothing but slumlord. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I mean, so which of the two would you prefer? I mean, just being honest. I mean, would you rather have a bunch of hard-working people who are up at 5:30 a.m. starting to prep their carne asada, or would you have some dude that is in a motel and has 15 of his family staying there? Because if you go and walk through, you'll find out like 7 or 8 of those units in that motel has been transformed into living quarters for their families. And then what they do is in the same way with gas stations, every 3 to 5 years, they just pass it on to another family member so that they can get the tax exemption back that they're about to lose. I mean, how many of them are housing? Because we all know that illegal immigration is not just Mexico.
That's true. I mean, I would say that the folks who came here most recently go first is my idea. And if you're a violent criminal, you definitely go first. Honestly, I wouldn't make the distinction too much between the Mexicans and the Indians and the Iraqis or whatever. It depends. I think it depends on the person. Like, what are you doing? If you are just kind of bringing in money, and especially if it's a money laundering operation in some of these instances, that
that's
needs
what
to
I'm
be
getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't see the people in their parking lot to support the amount of. I know how much. I just did a job for an underground leak that lasted for when we got there, it had been an underground leak for about 2.5, 3 days. Their water bill was $27,000. Okay, you know how many rooms you got to rent to pay for that? And then on top of it, you got to pay me $30-something thousand to cut up your concrete and fix it.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay. I mean, you ain't rented out that many rooms at $85 a night to crackhead.
Right. Well, and I'm looking at this. Yeah, the name Patel is essentially synonymous with motels. It is a surname. It just happens to be a very wealthy family. And I'm looking at an article that broke down how did you get the motel cartel. I'm saying the model was simple but effective. Buy underperforming motels, live frugally, and reinvest profits into additional properties through informal lending groups and community support. Patel shared resources and knowledge, establishing a cooperative ethos that fueled their growth. So,
yeah, and they do it with gas stations as well. I mean, I'll give them kudos, okay? But I'd rather take my chance with a drug cartel possibility than with a terrorist bomb. I mean, if I just had to pick one or the other.
Oh, sure, but I mean, I kind of like a lot of Indians speak the English. They speak the Kings, and a lot of those Hindus don't like those, say, Muslim terrorists. I'll put it that way.
I can say the little ones with the little orange dot, not the red dot, the little orange dot, because there's a difference.
You've thought about this a second.
They will talk bad about some of them other people back there.
Oh, sure.
You listen to them in the store, you're like, oh my God.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, it's over the top. But I appreciate the call, Joey from Brattville.
Right.
No, and I think as much as racism exists in this country, I think we Americans are fools to not realize how it is around the rest of the world. Woo! It gets heated. Let's go to Soldier Boy. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I have a hard time topping that one, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I was looking it up. That really is sort of a Battelle motel empire that's been built around the country since the 70s.
Yeah, woo! Okay. You know what's so funny, though? It's ironic. Let's go back to before Biden even took office, okay? Even before Trump. The Democrats in Congress and in the House have been pushing for what? To redo the what? Immigration law.
Yeah.
They've been fighting one way or tooth or another. They didn't give a rat's canary rear end, but they wanted to get it. Here comes along Joe, their little puppet. Now suddenly I can do what I want to do. And they did exactly what they did. They got exactly the numbers they wanted to get into this country, and by any means necessary.
Yeah, and those are the folks that were brought in most recently, like they go first, though very first of the line are the actual gang members and violent criminals and folks that keep crossing back over the border, just don't seem to get it. They go first, but the Biden administration's folks, especially, and you're already seeing Trump and them revoke a lot of stuff that the Biden administration did, stretching the law to bring in a lot of folks. So that's a good sign. I think a lot of self-deportation is happening, and it's going unreported. If you just look at labor statistics, a lot of new jobs are going to native-born, and a lot of, say, non-native-born are dropping out of those labor roles.
Let me tell you something, Joey. Here's what I look at this way. I'm a dual citizenship. So is Melania Trump. Okay. But we have laws and rules. My mother showed me pictures when she was going through Ellis Island, which I would love to take that tour up there,
Yeah.
The museum and walk it, I'm going to brag about this. I've been to San Francisco. I've seen Alcatraz, but I don't think that's the same. But I don't have a problem with this country was created by immigrants.
Yes.
Anything. And I'm not against that, and I hate the Democrats and the left always make it sound like I'm against it. I was like, no, I'm just against going against the rules. We have rules and laws because we only have so many natural resources, Joey.
Yes.
Can absorb the numbers.
Well, and also, yes, and also if you bring in a huge amount of people, you see this in Europe with the refugee crisis from all the stupid wars we got involved with. When you bring in mass amounts of people, you're displacing the local population in terms of their political power, in terms of those resources. Yeah, it's a very raw deal to the local population in a lot of ways, especially in the short term. I've always been one of, you have essentially a security check, a health check, and then you have essentially a rule that you cannot take from government services at all. And I think that would bring and attract the right sort of folk.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened to Jackson Hospital. They went bankrupt because it's called indigent care in emergency room. And a friend of mine worked at that hospital. And he says, "What? You don't understand." He says, "They have to take care of it. It's the law. If you receive state, federal, or local tax money, you cannot turn anybody away. It's called indigent care."
Yeah.
And they know that. And so, for example, if I have a runny nose or a cold nose, me and you who have, co-pays, deductibles, and pay, insurance, I'm surely not going to run to the emergency room for little stuff like that. Because we'll use our general physician. Okay?
Or you just be a man, you take, you go and live your day. Right.
Hit the old drugstore, some NyQuil, man, and drink and chug it down.
Right.
But the point is, look what it's done to our school system. It's put such a burdensome on the school system. These teachers are rough enough already, teaching 1 for 20 people. And now, okay, what if you got about 10, 15 kids that they put in your room, okay? Don't speak a damn word of English. How are you going to, what's the translators?
Right.
How are you going to teach them? How are you going to teach them, Joe?
Right.
So, Democrats didn't care. They wanted numbers. All they cared about numbers. And you know what's so funny, ironic is, I love it. It kind of backfired because a lot of people in the Hispanic community are Catholics.
Oh, sure.
They're Christian, okay? and they went through the legal way, okay? And they did not appreciate just because you're another Hispanic person, you trying to slide by and not going by the rules, and I did. The numbers prove that, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the turn in Trump's favor, just those turns, and especially younger populations and younger men, even more in particular. You've seen that shift.
They assumed they'd get them on board with them because they play for the same team.
Oh, yeah. And they were the ones who kept predicting the whole demographics is destiny thing. And I'm sorry. I think it's a hangover. I am not one, and I've been on this train for a while. I think racial solidarity, like white folks had to stick together, black folks, or the old ethnic, like you're German, I'm Polish, we can't ever, I think it doesn't help us in a free society. I give credence to the unique experience of Black Americans. They had to engage in that sort of racial solidarity in many ways to survive and get what they got in this nation where they're at now. But I think it wears out its welcome. And often people don't think in those racially conscious terms or the demographics is destiny. They think in terms of, yes, as you said, their faith, in terms of economic opportunity. And it's not always going to go the so-called progressives way. And when you bring in a crap load of people all at once, you're right. The legal immigrants are like, what the heck are you doing here?
What the hell you skip? They were like Six Flags, man. You're skipping the line. You don't have a fast pass, SOB.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. When I was stationed over in Baghdad in the Green Zone, I worked in the Ministry of Defense, and there was a colonel there, and he had a Cockney accent because during when the dictator was over there, he went to Oxford, got educated in Oxford, and he told me, he said, "Soldier boy, let me tell you something." He says, "You're having fun here, and you're having a good time here, and we appreciate you being here and everything. But let me tell you about the Shiites and the Sunnis. As soon as you leave, they'll be gone. It'll go back to normal. Everything will be back to normal the way it was. Because the same thing when Yugoslavia got torn down and everything. Yeah. What happened? You got the Bosnian and Croatians at each other's religious trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to me, a lot of people don't understand it, and they'll tell you that if they know anything. Russia was one unit, one family unit. It was actually more stable.
Yeah.
But now, everybody wants to. It goes back to tribalism again, Bill.
Well, and I was going to say, we in our own nation's history obviously aren't immune to that tribalism, and I think it took a lot of tragedies and a lot of bloody tragedies at that, and eventually people realized, I put a lot of this on commerce. And also it's a combination of the practical economic, and then it's also, I think, our Christian founding, our Christian identity as a nation, and the way it's unfolded to post-Enlightenment. It's a combination of both those things, prosperity and also living up to our ideals in a better way. It's stopped that tribal thing.
It's amazing. Gandhi bought the Muslims and what other religion was it? He brought them back. It was Gandhi. He brought both religions, Hindu
and Muslim.
Yeah, okay, because he was Muslim, and he brought them together. Okay, the same thing happened when Trump ran for office. He brought Christians and Muslims together.
Yeah, you're right.
when he saw those kids in school with the transgender stuff and everything, man, you should see some of the clerks there in a protest.
Oh yeah, and he's created such a, for lack of a better word, ironic coalition. Like folks you never thought would be kind of on the same page, and it's breaking apart a little bit, but you're seeing it's still pretty strong.
They fight against each other in a heartbeat. Yeah. Now suddenly, you're on the same team,
right? Well,
they were on the same team about the kids.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. I got to hit this break. Thanks, Soldier Boy. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, James and the team are ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. It could be a simple problem like a drippy faucet. Nobody likes a drippy faucet in all senses of the term. Nobody likes that. Cole Plumbing can fix that dripping faucet for you. Or maybe the toilet's just running all the time, not working. Could be you have a clogged drain, low water pressure. They can fix all of these issues for you there at Cole Plumbing. But of course, they can also help you if you have a major leak inside or outside the house. Could be a massive water leak or something like a gas line leak, which is very dangerous. You need to get that fixed as soon as you smell it. So check out Cole Plumbing today. It's not just like the big jobs, though, like the problems. They can also help you upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system. Maybe you want to add new accessories to the bathroom, to the kitchen. They can do all that for you there. And they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them on those big jobs to get in there and solve the problem without tearing out a bunch of drywall, digging up a huge hole in the yard. No, they can do it with precision and expertise and make you very, very happy indeed. So call them up today to make an appointment. 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
At Guardian Credit Union, if it's important to you, it's important to us. We don't do banking differently. We do relationships differently. Want to secure a HELOC for home projects? So do we. Want to build your credit? So do we. Want to plan your next vacation? So do we. We're here to help with whatever's next, because whatever you want in life, so do we. Stop by any of our branches and let's plan your next step together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Housing Opportunity. NMLS 912757.
Join us tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 at Gray's Tire and Service Center, 698 Summit Drive in Prattville for our Paw It Forward Pet Drive. Drop off your pet shelter supplies to help the River Region Humane Societies.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Jim. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Okay, real quick, from that caller, a few calls back there, I guess we can write Cash Patel off then. We'll get rid of him. He's sorry. I'm just going to tell you something real quick, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm a retired food service salesman, called on, restaurants, C-stores and stuff. Some of the best customers I had were I had a lot of C-stores that had delis, and they're some of the best customers I had were the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of Patels.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were very honest. They paid their bills. They knew how to make money, and several of them are still in this area doing good. So I never had a problem. They were very hardworking people.
Oh, and when I went up to Nashville, I was a little surprised. There were a lot of Indian folks. I mean, some I think visiting, but a lot of folks working. And I've always gotten along with mostly everybody.
I never had to worry about collecting, paying their bills, nothing. Very upfront, honest people.
Well,
I had to give that shout out there.
Glad you did. Appreciate it, Jim.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, no, and what you find too is like, say the Patels start doing the motel thing in like the 70s and 80s. Like often these immigrants that first come over, and they come over the legal way, where's the opportunity? It isn't always in the most, let's say, glamorous businesses, but not bad businesses either. Like where you run a shop, you run a motel. Now, are there going to be proprietors that have a, let's say, a loose moral sense about what happens on their property? Of course. And also, if you're doing bottom of the basement rates and these sorts of things, just slumlording it, I mean, you're going to attract a certain clientele. That's just the nature of it. But what's fascinating is this is a common theme with every immigrant group when they first come over, especially those that it sounds like the Patels are very tight knit. You see this the same way with the Jewish community in America. But it's often that first generation isn't doing the most glamorous work, but they do work their tail off, they save, and then their next generation goes on to in the tech world and in entrepreneurial endeavors across the board, as well as now in some of the highest levels of government. And so this is, I think, the great part of America. But I think the idealization of the immigrant has been abused to usurp American citizens of their place in this country. It's clearly been abused. And thus, that's why you see it's one of the more popular issues that attracted a very broad base of support for Donald Trump, the immigration crackdown. And it's already showing up in our own backyard. Can't say I'm surprised with Tom Homan at the helm under Trump.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Supreme Court giving a green light to the Trump administration's plan to dismantle the Education Department. In a 6-3 ruling, justices allowed the president to go through with laying off nearly 1,400 Education Department employees. It delivers on one of his biggest campaign promises. Armies of Texan volunteers leading flood recovery and cleanup, supplementing official efforts even as more flooding hits, and the search for the missing continues. Ukraine's prime minister announcing his resignation. The move possibly marks the start of a major government reshuffle. The reshuffle comes amid escalating Russian attacks on ongoing war pressures. Ukrainian officials are also focusing on strengthening ties with the U.S. with potential changes to the country's ambassador to Washington. This is SRN News.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 40, 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. Call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. It'll change your life. It's fast and simple. They won't let you fail. Just give them a call at 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. That's 855-696-2020. 855-696-2020. Here's the best part. First 11 callers who mention the keyword healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Call today. 855-696-2020. Mention healthy to get 2 free weeks. Or visit them at myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The top item we're covering today is heat and humidity. And it could be the hottest day of the year so far with a high temperature in the upper 90s. The heat index near the 105 danger range. Isolated, widely separated storms in the afternoon and evening hours today. But we're also watching the Gulf, where a tropical disturbance crossing Florida into the northern Gulf will track westward, and eventually our rain chances will probably spike mid to late week. We'll be watching the future track carefully because the Gulf is our backyard. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Folks, I want to jump in real quick. There is a live press conference going on with the chief of police here in Montgomery, James Grayboys, and it is in progress.
Keeping our neighborhoods safe. We cooperate with multiple agencies and multiple individuals to keep this promise. And we act with the full support of our city administration and the brave men and women of our police department who are working every day 24/7. Now, one of the things I'm going to begin with is the actual cases that we worked over the last 5 days, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each. When I do open it up for questions, y'all will be given an opportunity to ask some. Now, there are going to be times where you might ask a question that I will not be able to answer because I will not compromise the investigations of the cases. But where I can't answer, I will. Chronologically, we started conducting a homicide investigation following the death of Brantley McNabb, age 15. It started on July 10th at approximately 2:41 p.m. Our units and fire medics responded to the 1100 block of Airbase Boulevard in report of a subject that was shot. There, we located the victim who had sustained fatal injuries from his wound. He was pronounced deceased at the scene, and we began investigating the case heavily and strongly in that area and neighborhood. I will say in relation to that case, because our CID unit, which has been working tirelessly on it, has been making incredible gains, and I am very confident that we will be holding an individual accountable in relation to this offense.
Again, folks, this is the voice of the Montgomery Police
But
Chief,
as with
Jim
all
Grayboy.
investigations, we have to follow every step properly to ensure that the appropriate individual is taken and charged and brought to justice. The next homicide cases that we started working were this weekend because we worked, of course, on Saturday, July 12th. We began homicide investigations involving the deaths of Malik Benson, age 27, and Keith Watley, age 26. It began on the 12th at 3:55 p.m. approximate. Montgomery Police Department units and fire medics responded to the 400 block of North California Street and the 1700 block of Upper Wetumpka Road in reference to subjects shot. These incidents were related. We located Benson in the 400 block of California Street, and he had sustained fatal injuries from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced deceased. Watley also had sustained fatal injuries from his wounds, and he was located in the 1700 block of Upper Wetumpka Road, and he was pronounced deceased. In this particular case, we are also following promising leads. We have been working together with all of our officers and some of our partners on this case. And I'm very confident in the results that will be outcoming from that case, and I expect results fairly soon. Also on this date, on Saturday, July 12th at 4:26 p.m., Montgomery Police Department and fire units responded to the 4100 block of Fitzpatrick Boulevard in reference to a subject shot. Contact was made with an adult male who sustained life-threatening injuries from a gunshot wound. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to reveal something new because it's very important. While I will not reveal the identity of the victim on this case because it is an ongoing investigation, and it is not a homicide case, I will reveal the fact that this individual was involved in conducting a violent felony when he received his injuries. And we are working criminal cases in relation to this subject's conduct. He would not have been injured had he not been engaging in the behavior that he was. I want to make that clear. When people engage in behavior that is violent, very often they can end up in this man's condition. On Saturday, July 12th, at about 5:26 p.m., MPD responded to a local hospital in reference to a subject shot. Contact was made with an adult male victim who had sustained a non-life-threatening injury from a gunshot wound, and it was determined that this offense occurred around the 800 block of Ann Street. Also in the 800 block of Ann Street, we answered another call that was related to another subject who was shot that we made contact with, who had also sustained a non-life-threatening injury. Of note on these cases, these subjects not only did not want to cooperate with our officers,
you think,
but did not want to press charges.
Of course.
Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to continue investigating these cases, because when people act in a manner that could be construed as dangerous, they can be a threat to themselves and others. And so, of course, we are still fully investigating these cases.
I've got to pause it there because I got to hit a few more ads. Also have somebody very patient on the phone. We'll be right back. Quick break here.
Hey, this is Jody Pangle with Peaches and Clean Powerful Carpet Cleaning. Have you been putting off your home carpet cleaning for a while? Give us a call at Peaches and Clean so we can bring your carpeting back to life. Check us out online at peachesandclean.com.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
They're more than pets, they're family. And while your furry friend is safe and loved at home, countless animals across the river region are still waiting for that same chance. That's why Blue Water Broadcasting and Amy's Antiques and Flea Mall are coming together for the annual Paw It Forward Pet Drive to help local humane societies care for homeless animals in need. We're stuffing our Sprinter van full of supplies, and you can help. Drop off food, toys, blankets, and more at Amy's Antiques, a 20,000 square foot mall with over 80 vendors on the Northeastern Boulevard. Paw it forward today.
To find out how you can help, visit newstalk931.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back, folks. Real quick, let's go to the phones, talk to Beelzebub. There is a FBI, Homeland Security, and I imagine ICE is an element of that. Raids all over the area. Beelzebub has something on that. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. As you know, I live down here in Mobile, and I'm working down here in Mobile. Anyways, I'm just got a phone call from my daughter, and then I got who lives in Panama City, and one of her friends who lives in the Slap Out area. And my daughter just graduated from Slap Out before she moved down there, but they're concerned about a young lady named Leslie that works at El Patron. She graduated as well and was born here in America, but she's not responding to phone calls. I'm just, you know, I mean, I voted for this, you know, so I just, but I don't vote. I did not vote for, you know, them just running up into restaurants and stuff like that, you know what I mean, that are American owned. And El Patron's been in the Slap Out area for a long time, and it's well known, and they got great food and they're good people. I voted for them going in and raiding and taking out all the gang members and the terrorists and the people like that. So I just wanted to voice my opinion, and if it causes hardship, you know, it does, but I'm just, you know.
Well, I appreciate it, and apparently it's all over. It's not just Slap Out; it's locations all over the area.
Yeah, I've seen Wetumpka, and I've seen you know, a couple other places. I'm getting pictures as we speak. I'm looking at them. I got one of El Patron and Slap Out right now, where the federal agents are all surrounded the place in vans and trucks and all that other stuff. This happened about an hour and 20 minutes ago, and it's still ongoing as we speak. So.
Well, I appreciate you voicing that opinion. And, well, somebody who's born here is right now under the law an American citizen. It might be it's just in the middle of it. That's why she's not answering her phone. But
well, they're really worried and concerned with her specifically because she's autistic.
Okay.
And this would really stress her out. And by all means, you know, my daughter and her best friend that I spoke to, you know, I mean, they're really concerned about it because to them, she's American. She graduated, went to school with them from kindergarten on up in Slap Out. And their family's a good family and has never committed no crimes that no one's known of. And, you know, and they're upstanding and, you know, and they got a legitimate business going on there. It's not like a chop shop factory over in California or, you know, I mean, it's a restaurant that's paying taxes where people go to work. And yeah, they may employ one or two illegal immigrants, but, you know, I mean, it's getting a little carried away if you, you know what I'm saying.
We need to wait and see what FBI Homeland Security says. They might have reasons we don't know about. But I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the call as always.
It's good talking to you, Jay.
You too. 272-9228. Let's go back in midstream here. I believe this is this is the chief of police here in Montgomery, Jim Grayboys, talking about all the stuff that happened over the weekend.
Case I want to address it out here right now. Actually, two things I'm going to put out that is frustrating. One thing that really frustrates me is a lot of the people that we are arresting are on bond for other crimes they committed. In fact, the subject we arrested yesterday, Mr. Burt, was on bond for crimes he committed prior.
Wow. Okay, wow.
We have other subjects who we have arrested who were out on bond for murder charges or other violent felonies. Now, the thing about it is if a subject can make bond very quickly and they're a repeat offender, they're very likely to come back out and commit more crimes. So I think that we need some help from agencies beyond the police department to look at how fast people are being let out or how easily a violent felon can get out of jail. From another standpoint too, we have to look at this, and this might sound like a small thing, but I think it's important. We have a lot of times 4 victors, we call them, which is when people break into a car. And I would say about 60% of those cases, people leave their car doors unlocked, and this is what's so outrageous. A lot of people leave their guns just sitting in the glove box or under the seat, which means that those guns become readily available and easily available on the street. Further, when we don't have concealed carry restrictions like we used to, it means that it's a lot harder for us to enforce certain gun restrictions or to enforce certain restrictions on the gun carriage or gun violence, because those restrictions enabled us to take criminal guns and bad actors off the streets. So those are things that really do affect us. So I think it's also going to take words of faith. It's going to take our faith-based community. It's going to take the adults in this community to come on board and start talking to kids, start talking to even the young adults who maybe they are over 18, but they're still learning. It's going to take people working together to make this thing get better. It's going to be a community effort. Yes, ma'am.
Across the nation, we see that about half of homicides go unsolved. Do we have a number for how many homicides at the Montgomery Police Department go to trial or are solved?
Yeah, actually, one thing I can tell you is last year, I'm speaking off of memory, but last year we had a clearance rate, I believe, of 70%. Presently, our clearance rate is at 56%, but I believe it's going to be higher by the time we reach the end of the year, because like I said, I'm very confident on the cases that we are working, and we can't claim any kind of percentage of clearance until after we have actually cleared that case. So while a case is under active investigation, it's not listed as cleared, but I'm very confident with where we're going. So our department, our CID Bureau, has been very, very much ahead of the national average on its clearance rates, and I believe we will continue to be able to do so.
Again, we're talking and listening to the chief
Yes,
of
sir.
police here in Montgomery press conference.
Possibly getting more help when it comes to apprehending people who are out on bond. The legislature a couple of years ago passed a bill which is called the House Bill after 9/90. Would something like that, maybe another retooled version, help out with that? Do you think lawmakers could possibly address it with that?
I think lawmakers addressing that is a really good thing, because actually with what you just mentioned, I know that the recent laws that were passed in the legislature and passed by the governor when she signed them off were actually very positive in that direction, because they actually allowed courts to have more discretion in holding people who were arrested for violent felonies. I mean, now they have discretion, I believe. Now, I'm not a legal expert, but I believe that if somebody commits, let's say, a violent robbery or a violent assault, they can actually be held till trial, which is amazing. That's a great tool, but that tool has to be utilized by the individuals who have it. What we can do now, as the screen shows behind me, I mean, like I said, in 60 days, 112 felony arrests. We're arresting these people. But unfortunately, we do keep seeing the same ones. And what happens is when somebody gets out quickly, their criminal behavior actually escalates. So what we have to do is we just have to basically get all the tools, everybody acting together and working together to actually make sure that when somebody goes out and commits a violent crime, they don't have an easy opportunity to go out and do another one after they've been arrested. Now, we will keep arresting these bad guys. Make no doubt about that, because my guys are out there 24/7. They aren't going to stop. They believe in the mission that they're following, and they're going to do everything they can. But the help we get outside of just the law enforcement angle, from legislative, from the court system, the help we get in that will make a huge difference in the crime rates going forward. We already can say we have had a lot of success. That success has come from the Montgomery Police Department. It has come from the MAX team. It has come from the county sheriff's office. It's come from road troopers. It's come from our assistance from the federal government that we work with when we talk about the federal task forces. We're out there arresting. We're making those numbers, we're proud of them. But we are seeing some of the same people over and over again. And I think one thing I am very convinced of is that you have a very small group of criminals who probably are responsible for a disproportionate amount of crime. Now, as we have been arresting some of these criminals and some of them have been getting convictions, we have seen that year over year, our numbers are much better than they were last year. Now, that doesn't mean that we should stop. That doesn't mean that we should slow down. What that means is we got to keep working, because even one homicide is too much. And I will always believe that. One violent assault is too much. One sexual assault is too much. We are not going to stop until we bring these numbers not only way down, but we're going to keep going until there's zero. And I don't think there's one police officer who doesn't agree with me on that. Yes, ma'am.
Your officer was responding to 5 shootings in 4 hours Saturday. I imagine that takes a toll.
It does.
You said you need more officers. Where do you stand with recruiting efforts?
Our recruiting efforts are going forward. In fact, when you just asked that question, I have to say this, and I'm sorry, but join mgmblue.com. If anybody's interested in joining our fight, they should go to joinmgmblue.com and fill out an application and become an officer. Join us on that. But I will tell you where our recruiting efforts are going, because we just graduated one academy class they're going to be joining our ranks by the end of the month. We're real proud of them. And in fact, we're starting another academy class at the end of the month. Now, aside from those classes I just mentioned, we are already building towards our November academy class, because we intend that class to be even larger than the one we have starting in July. And we have been actively and extensively recruiting lateral transfers. And we've also had a good number of people expressing interest in returning to work with us. As we've even actually just last week hired a few folks or offered a few folks employment who want to come back. So where we are is we're moving in the right direction, and we are getting more boots on the ground officers actually out there. And we're going to keep doing that. But this is going to be a race, I would say, of consistency and keeping those efforts consistent and keep moving forward. Yes, ma'am.
We've spoken to the families of many victims, and one of their frustrations is that they're not getting information, updates on their cases, that kind of thing. Obviously, you guys are working behind the scenes doing that. Do you have some sort of protocol, or what is the standard for letting the families of these victims know? Because that's even adds to their grief a lot of times.
And I understand what you're saying with that. In fact, actually, one of the things we are doing is that our CID unit does the best they can working their cases, but also making sure that we talk to families. But one of the things I wanted to do, and we are actually have started working, and we've been working on it for the last 4 weeks, and we've been strengthening it going forward, is that we've partnered with Vocal to start improving our ability to communicate with victims and get information out to them. And the Vocal partnership is something that I'm very pleased with going forward, because every time I've met with them, they are so helpful, and they are also very caring, and they also can, I would say, expand our footprint in being able to serve victims. Now, we still are going to do what we can to serve victims, but we also figure by bringing them in and getting their assistance, we'll be able to be even more, helpful to these victims.
Again, that, folks, is the chief of police here in Montgomery, Jim Grayboys. Apparently, he's going to be doing press conferences like this on a more regular basis. I think that's a very good idea. The point they make about folks they arrest being put right back out on the street. In fact, some of these folks they were arresting for recent crimes were already out on bond for other crimes. It's a huge issue and a big problem. But I think communicating more with the public in exactly this way, love to have the chief on the show, is the right approach in general. Let's go to the phones and talk to Twister Jones. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, Joey, I'm doing pretty good. But then again, not considering some of the information I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I'd like to refer to a caller that called back in. They called in a couple of callers ago about the girl at El Patron's. I'd like to know if any of those qualifications he mentioned were on the ballot that he pulled. I don't think they were. He doesn't need to be upset at the person he voted for. He needs to be upset at the manager that hired that girl, his friend. And that's who he needs to be mad at. And also needs to be mad at himself. If he knew she was illegal, he kind of upsets me by not turning her in and helping her come in the legal way, loving her that way, and loving the soldiers that died to give him that right. Gosh, that's probably ought to make a song out of that. But all you folks out there that know people, help them. Don't get mad at the people that are catching them and getting them out of here. That's what we need to do. Where are you, Soldier Boy and Papa John and T. Spear and Clint? I know Clint is going to call in, and I know he's tired of this stuff. And all you guys out there support this military town that we have. I think that's what we need to be focusing on, not the poor immigrant. They're not going to suffer that bad. They're going to get treated okay. There's veterans out there that are a lot worse off.
Well, and also it sounds like he's responded to his daughter's concerns. Also, I believe he said that she was born here, so she legally, under the current law, that young girl will be a citizen. Also, I would say let's pump our brakes here. I'd imagine FBI and Homeland Security has warrants for this sort of thing, and it might not just be a general immigration raid. It could be they were looking at these particular restaurants for a reason.
That's true. That's true.
But, it's going to, I think you're going to start to see people peel off and make those qualifications, though, sir, if it is sort of the family that's been here decades. I don't think there's any sympathy for, say, the violent criminal types, the gang members, folks that just got here. I don't think there's much sympathy for them as well. You are going to get these cases where, okay, somebody's born here. They went kindergarten to high school with the guy who calls, daughter, graduate together, and all of a sudden now they're caught up in this. I'm not surprised that people would be like, oh, that's not what I voted for. But I hear where you're coming from as well.
Yeah. The law is the law, and it's only written one way with the exact same words that the good people and the bad people have to abide by. So I'm just one way or the other, and it's the law the way that I go.
Well, I appreciate the call, Twister.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. 272-9228. Again, Coach Tuberville should be joining us at about 1:45, and not too long here. Look forward to talking to Coach. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. Now, they have this new monthly subscription model. That way you can actually control your cost of your pest control. You can actually budget it out. It's a regular expense and a very reasonable one, even the full package. It all starts with basic pest control, but then it goes on top of that with termite inspection, year-round protection against those termites. You're looking at things like you can add on mosquito treatment, which you should have done already. We're in the thick of mosquito season, flea and tick treatment. Maybe you got to get those fire ants treated. They're driving you crazy. The kids are playing outside. The dogs are getting into it. Pest Pro Services has your back. Great local company that is ready to serve you. And when you spend your money with them, it's staying here in the local community. Call them up today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. Got a few calls rolling in here. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey, so what the chief is telling us, and me here too, is that they appear to be doing their job. It's back on the judges that are letting them go. So that's a whole nother thing there.
Yeah, no, and I've been asking that question for a while. I think the legislature, to their credit, did pass some stuff that gave more tools to the judges. So it's now on a lot of these judges.
Well, are they local judges then? I mean, is that who they're going before, or they don't have room in the jails? What is the actual issue here?
It would be local, yeah.
I mean, so why aren't they going ahead and getting them off the streets instead of putting them out on bond? That's my question. I wonder what the reasoning is behind that. I mean, clearly now they should know that the people that they're allowing back out are now repeating the offenses. They're not stopping. What's the problem here? Why? I think that's the question that needs to be asked, and why aren't they doing it?
It could be. It could be we've been granting it, and we've reserved holding people indefinitely before trial for the most heinous cases. But when you're seeing the same folks commit over and over again, they got to get on top of it.
No doubt there. Well, in that case, then, yes, I might have been wrong, which is a first. Yeah. It's not often that y'all catch me like that. But, so the police are doing their job, but the judges are not.
Well, what did you think of the general tone of the chief?
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
I thought it was, very well spoken, and kind of he laid it out there. Look, we're doing what we can. We're doing what we're supposed to do. If they're just letting them back out, if it's like a Mississippi puppy mill, what are you going to do? You can't. You can only do so much here. So anyway, by the way, isn't it great that you can call Senator Toberville Coach?
Yes.
I just think that's a great, it just, it's a really great thing, actually. And I tell you what, if you have a chance, ask him this. If he ever enjoyed my Aunt Deanie's pound cake, who she used to be a good friend of his mother's, and they'd sit in the studio together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They would, it's quite, in fact, he signed several caps for me and my cousins, all 27 of them. So, if he remembers that, that'd be just a great thing. I wish I could ask him the question myself.
Well, and
anyway,
it's going to be a quick one today. I'm trying to push for having him in here a whole hour in studio. That way we can field calls and stuff.
Right.
I think you'd enjoy it if we actually find the time with him.
Right. Well, all right. So raid's going on. Police doing their job. Now we just got to get the judiciary in action. Look, if it takes building more jail cells, then go ahead and raise taxes. We got to do something to get these folks off the street so they don't keep on killing people, So anyway, or hurting or tearing, whatever they do. All right, but listen, thanks a lot for taking my call. Enjoy the show as usual.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Well, hello, this is Keith here, and ironically, I had tried calling earlier, but then I was listening to the police chief, so I just hung up. To the gentleman whose daughter's friend is working at this restaurant, this girl knew or has known or should have known all of her life that she was here illegally. As she is a high school graduate, she knows that she has had opportunities to make it right. Now, I feel sorry for anybody whose only plan is entering this country illegally. But if you're here illegally, and you know you're here illegally, what part of crime do you not understand? What part of illegal are you ignoring? And Lord, get rid of one and another one starts. The issue is we have to get a stop to this. And if we don't put a stop to it at the very lowest level, we have the nightmares that have happened in New York, in Chicago, in California, throughout Texas. It's a nightmare. And I feel sorry for the girl, but she's known all of her life that she was here illegally. Her parents knew that they were here illegally. Go home and make it right. It's that simple. So, if
but if you're born here, you're granted
if you're born here to illegal parents, then you are here illegally.
So the place you're born is not your home?
Well, not really. Not if your parents are here illegally.
Mhm.
Joey, if
So we
were
should
to-
retroactively say it to all these folks that are born citizens under the current interpretation of law, we're revoking that citizenship?
They've done that years ago. They were never citizens to begin with. If you are in another country illegally and you have a child in that country illegally, that child is not a citizen of that country. It is to a point that that child has no country. But that child is there illegally just as much as this child is here illegally. Her parents are illegal, that makes her illegal. It's harsh. I understand that. But there comes a time when you have to make a stand. If we were to go to Mexico, or Scotland, if I were to go to Scotland and I were to have a child in Scotland, my child would not be Scot. My child would be an American citizen. And Scotland would be looking at me and they'd be saying, you need to go back to the United States. And they would be right about it because I would be there illegally. If you're here illegally, there is an easy solution. Get on a bus, get a vehicle, do whatever you can to go back to your home country. And then if you still want to come to the United States, by all means, we welcome you. But do it legally. When you commit a crime, it does not stop just because years have gone by. There is no statute of limitations on it. You're here illegally, deal with it.
Well, I appreciate the call.
Thank you much, Joey. Y'all keep up the good work. And if I have hurt someone's feelings, I'm sure you'll get over it, or else it'll be okay. Have a good day. Bye.
Appreciate it. No hurt feelings. I just tend to think somebody who's born here, who's never set foot in another country but here, to tell them to go home is a bit of a thing. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, this is Deb. I'm no expert by any means, but I think according to our government, if you're born here, you're a citizen. I may be wrong, but
right. And Trump's trying to change that, but I think doing it retroactively is pretty intense.
Yeah, that's terrible. But if you're here illegally, whether you've been here one day or whether you've been here 20 years, you're here illegally. You're breaking our law, and it's devastating. It's terrible because there are so many good people that are willing to work and do the right thing. But if you're here illegally, you're breaking our laws. And then on the other hand, and I think I've told you this before, I had a former pastor. He married a Canadian, and it cost them $10,000 to get her here illegally. I have another friend who had a friend that was illegal, and he tried to get him, because he was already here and had been here for a while, I guess is the reason the problem came up. It was going to cost $20,000 to get him here legally. He came, he worked, he paid taxes, but he was here illegally and he got caught and got sent back. So it's just a horrible, horrible situation that these people are in. And I hate it because I understand why so many, for years they came here for a better life. That's the truth. But that part, like I said, is just devastating. So something needs to have to be worked out with that too. So,
well, and it's an interesting hypothetical we're also going through too. Let's wait to see what Homeland Security and FBI are actually up to in the area. Yeah. But I appreciate the call back. Always do.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Can't wait to hear Coach.
Me too. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And if you're looking for some help buying that home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're looking to refinance, to restructure that debt, especially credit card debt. Maybe you took out a home equity loan or a second mortgage, as some call it. They can help you with these sorts of concerns with a refinance deal, or maybe you're about to retire or in retirement. You want to get down those monthly overhead costs. They can help you with all of that and much more there at Alabama Home Mortgage. Call them today at 567-4223 to get to know them. Let them get to know you and what you're trying to accomplish here in the housing market. And, of course, you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline. It's Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Hopefully we'll have Coach Tommy Tuberville on the other side of this break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
There's nothing that will heat up the summer more than a hot deal from Pizza Perfect. The perfect family fill-up in July is a free order of boneless wings with the purchase of any large pizza. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet that includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Get a free order of boneless wings with the purchase of any large pizza from Pizza Perfect in Eastbrook.
Is foot pain holding you back? Visit the Good Feet store for a free personalized fitting and test walk.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Recently, I met with 3 different owners of homes who had the same problem. They wanted to sell their house quick and sell it as is for cash. All 3 people were approached by different investors that said they had cash for their home, signed contracts, only to find out they were not personally going to buy their homes, but to find a buyer willing to pay more than they offered and pocket the difference. It's called wholesaling. Offer a contract to buy a house at a certain price, up to price to other buyers, and pocket the difference. I urge you, don't fall for it. You want to sell your home quick, use a licensed professional realtor, as I have been for 48 years, keeping promises to get homes sold quick. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883.
For over 40 years, Headley Plumbing has been fixing the River Region's plumbing problems with fast, affordable service. The pros at Headley are ready to respond anytime you need help, and they charge fair rates for their expert service. They help River Region homes and businesses every day, from repairing leaky faucets, septic tank service, replacing damaged sewer lines, or just unstopping a blocked drain. Trust the experts at Headley Plumbing. Call 285-3667. Headley Plumbing, 285-3667. Remember Headley's motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. For over 21 years, Blue Water Broadcasting has been a proud part of the River region. We're not just a company, we're your neighbors. Our owners, air staff, account executives, and support team all live right here. We believe in this community, and we stand by our slogan, Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the River region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The top item we're covering today is heat and humidity. And it could be the hottest day of the year so far, with a high temperature in the upper 90s, the heat index near the 105 danger range, and only isolated, widely separated storms in the afternoon and evening hour today. But we're also watching the Gulf, where a tropical disturbance crossing Florida into the northern Gulf will track westward, and eventually our rain chances will probably spike mid to late week. We'll be watching the future track carefully because the Gulf is our backyard. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. And as promised, folks, we have here on the phone with us, he's a current United States Senator. He's running for governor to be the next great governor of the state. We have Coach Tommy Tuberville. Coach, how you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. As I said a while ago, I'm standing out on the balcony of the Capitol Senate floor here at the Capitol, overlooking a beautiful day here in Washington, D.C., and not quite as hot as it's been. It's been in the hundreds almost, and a lot of humidity.
Yeah, it's not too bad here in Alabama, but you know the heat and humidity is a regular thing. And every time I go up to that town, up to Washington D.C., as much as I badmouth it, and we got plenty of reason, when you see the institutions and the history there, it's a reminder of what we need to live up to, right?
Oh, yeah. I get very emotional every time I come up here, which is obviously I come up on Monday and go home usually on Friday, and and I come over to the Senate and think of all the history and all the different people that have been in this building, all the way back to when our country started, going on 250th birthday this year. So it's someplace we have a lot of infighting and a lot of swinging, and I hope we can get control of what's going on up here right now. We're kind of a ship without a rudder when it comes to the federal government, but President Trump's trying his best to get us back in line.
Well, let's run down the list of some of my concerns. I'm not going to ask you about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm already seeing the headlines. But one thing I'm a little worried about is Doge kind of being put on a leash. I know the one rescission package has come forward, the $9 billion with USAID and say NPR and whatnot. Do you see that going through, and do you see more rescissions coming through? I'm really worried about this deficit and the debt we're building up.
That's our number one national security problem. We hear all the problems going on all around the world, but the biggest one here is amongst us in terms of the money spent and $37 trillion in debt. We just had an hour meeting with Rush Vaught, the COB director, and I tell you, we're only trying to cut $9 billion, and it's like we're pulling teeth in the Republican Party. I just hope it passes this week. We'll have to wait and see. But the one thing you got to learn about Congress and about Washington D.C. is easy to spend, it's hard to cut. My God, and we should be able to cut right and left. But at the end of the day, COVID put us way behind the eight ball. And we have got a huge problem trying to get anything cut out because nobody wants to cut.
Yeah, it's a shame. And like the $5 trillion debt ceiling increase, I hope we just don't hit that in 24, 25 months. I hope the rescission packages maybe give us a few more months,
Well, $9 billion is 1/10 of 1%. I mean, it's like one day of spending up here. and people are acting like we're going to jump off a cliff. But hopefully we'll come to our senses one day, knowing that we're spending more than that weekly on the debt that we pay on the $37 trillion that we owe. So it's we'll work it out. We got to work it out. The American people are counting on us to work it out, especially the people of Alabama are counting on us. And Katie, Britt, and myself are all in for cutting a lot more than $9 billion. But we'll just have to wait and see how this week goes and see if we can continue on.
Now, one thing that does seem to have some bipartisan support, other than maybe the execrable Elizabeth Warren, is this is the big crypto week coming out of the White House. I know legislation has been moving through both chambers there in the Congress. And I'll just say I'm incredibly bullish on Bitcoin in particular, but this larger ecosystem that's being built up. You think these things get to Trump's desk pretty quick here?
I hope they do. You just never know. We've got a good CFTC director. It should go through the voting process here in a week or two. But there's a lot of things that we have to do. But the future is going to be crypto. Telling people right now, you just got to count your blessings that we've got another way for some kind of currency. Digital currency is the future, and we just got to understand that we got to keep up with the Joneses. Right now, Europe and other countries are so far ahead of us, but right now we're kind of lagging behind. And if we don't get some legislation done on it, Joy, in the next 4 or 5 months, I'm afraid we're going to lose crypto out of this country, and it's going to be regulated by somebody other than the United States of America.
Yeah, here, and we do need that here. I've been pushing since the beginning of not this year, last year, when the ETFs came online, for the state government to start looking into this, what we could do. They hadn't been listening much. We had a few good folks, but I think it is the future. And this ties into the question of, say, our money and our financial system. Why is today a good day to fire Jerome Powell?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember now that the Fed is not a government entity. It's just another, I guess you'd call it a business of its own. And it's really the federal government really doesn't have a lot to do with it, other than the fact that, they regulate every dollar we spend and how much interest we have to pay on it. But I've said all along, and I've got to know Jerome Powell since I've been here. Met with him really the first week I was here, and I got on to him that very first day about, why are you waiting so long to raise interest rates? I mean, he just waited and waited. And what happens is he was putting politics involved. Well, now the same thing's going on. He's playing politics with this president when, I'm not so sure how much you should lower it, but the problem right now is we're spending so much money on our $37 trillion. And then the farmers and a lot of the people in small businesses, they are paying that big note every month, and they can't make any profits. So sooner or later, he's going to have to give them some relief. I don't know whether he'll make it. Kevin Hassett, I think, will be the next guy up. They've got some pretty good reasons to let him go, but we'll see what the president says.
Yeah, I think it's a huge deal, and definitely the relief for the nation and the small business owner, as you just said. I know you've been working on some legislation, working with Senator Cruz to protect, say, Alabamians and American fishermen across the land from, say, the illegal snapper trade going on. The cartels are in this business out of Mexico.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, the cartels in Mexico, they're into everything from drugs to human trafficking to catching more fish than they're supposed to, selling it illegally. Doing the same thing with shrimp. You name it, they're doing it. And so we're trying to get some legislation together to where we can try to prohibit it. Now, as I've told everybody, it's already legal. I mean, you can't do it, but the cartel, they're not part of the United States. And again, we have the Canadians at the north of us, and they break all kind of rules. And we have the Mexicans below us in the southern part of our country. And those cartels break all kind of rules, and we're between a rock and a hard place. We try to go by the rules, and it's hard to put a rule together to force anybody to do something that's not an American citizen.
Yeah, and I know overfishing is a concern, and our regulations on Americans seem to be addressing that concern. But if they're overfishing in other parts, it's still recreating the problem all over again. Plus, you don't want money going to those type of unsavory characters, to put it mildly. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, they use it. They use it to do all kind of nefarious things. And I've worked very hard with the White House and with several people that work in the Trade Department about keeping Vietnam from dumping 3 billions of sewer fish. They call it catfish, but it's nothing but crap that they send over here, and they are about to run our catfish farmers out of business. And people got to understand, when you go to a restaurant, hopefully you're not eating that fish, that you're getting American-made fish. But same thing with shrimp that comes from India and some of these other places. They run our people in the Gulf, the shrimpers, out of business almost because they dump that trash in the United States, and we've got to have better regulatory oversight on that. But it seems like nobody wants to really do the right thing.
Yeah, it's a shame, but they did pass, your legislation with Cruz did pass the Senate last night?
It did.
Awesome.
It did pass last night, yeah. So it's on its way, but to get anything done up here is like pulling teeth. But you just got to keep throwing it against the wall. Some of it might stick sooner or later. Well,
and eventually you're going to be back home here on a regular basis in Sweet Home, Alabama. I've been saying when I first was asked about this, I'm like, he should stay in the Senate. He's doing a good job there. But if he does run for governor, make it big and bold, Alabama first. And so far, I think that's what you're doing. One thing I've been addressing today, especially in Montgomery, the crime issue, but I know it's an issue in other major cities around the state. Is this something that you're going to be focused on, in particular providing extra resources to, say, some of these local PDs?
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Joy. You got to think about this. You can be educated. You can have a great family. You can have great jobs. You can have everything going in your direction. If you don't have safe neighborhoods and streets, if you can't go out and do things as a free person and not worry about being hit upside the head or shot or robbed, you don't have anything. And so if you look at all of these cities across the country that have Democrat mayors, it is a war zone. And it's some in our state, not just Detroit, not just Chicago, not just New York, not San Francisco, some of the smaller cities across even the South. And so, yes, that's going to be one of my first things. We will attack that with all 4 feet and do as much we possibly can to give the people of Montgomery and Birmingham and Mobile and Huntsville and all the cities in our state and even all the rural areas in our state a chance to live a safe and happy life. And if you don't have that again, it's just absolutely every day. It's a process where you don't understand what's going to happen. Up here in Washington, D.C., this is a war zone up here. We have a Democratic mayor. They don't want to arrest anybody. They don't want to put anybody in jail. And I've told people, as I told last week, I spoke to the sheriffs in the state. I said, guys, listen, we're building 2 new prisons. If it takes building 2 more of them, we'll do it, because we're going to fill it up when I'm governor, because we're going to stop this nonsense, and we're going to go back at these liberal judges that don't put people in jail, and we're going to take it back over.
Well, I've appreciated the work you've done in the Senate, and I know there's more work to do, but I'm looking forward to watching you run for governor and looking forward to see you be coach governor. I think we'll still call you coach.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to that. Real quick bonus question, because I'm seeing top headlines, you talking about COVID. Do you think we'll ever get justice on COVID, in particular when it comes to that fella, Anthony Fauci?
Joy, I don't know whether it's fortunate or not, but I'm on the health committee, and I went through all those hearings with Fauci and the CDC director and all these people that just lied out their teeth about what was going on, the process that was happening, the vaccines, and it's just, it's more and more every day we hear about how it was formed. We have these biolabs all over our country, all over the world. Yeah. What in the heck are we doing? And then they take these viruses and, whether it was intentionally leaked out of Wuhan or it was accidentally, it makes no difference. They kill millions of people. And it's just, we got to get a handle on that. And we got a president that wants to get a handle on it. But when you got people like Anthony Fauci just lie out his teeth, he should go to jail. He put his hand up in Congress, said he was going to tell the truth, and every time he answered a question, he lied about it. He was funding gain of function research, and I'll never forget. I'd never heard that word, and Rand Paul was interviewing him in that meeting and that hearing, and I've learned a lot about it since then, and it was a disaster for our country. It was a disaster for the world, and it was because we were given false information from guys like Anthony Fauci, and yes, he should be in jail.
Let's hope we get that accountability. And I always appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you and talking to you again soon.
All right, Joey. God bless.
God bless. Again, folks, that's Coach Tommy Tuberville. He's still your United States Senator. He may very well soon be. Let's not jump the gun, but I think it's a fairly good bet. He might soon be your next governor. Well, I got to hit my top of the hour break. We have the rest of the show. One more hour to go after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Ukrainian President Zelensky has expressed gratitude for President Trump's plan to send more weapons to Ukraine, particularly Patriot air defense missile systems to defend his country against Russia's bombardment. John MacArthur, pastor of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, has died at the age of 86 after battling pneumonia. Pastor MacArthur was a longtime valued member of the Salem Radio Network family. Mike Walls has told lawmakers at his confirmation hearing to be U.S. ambassador to the United Nations that he plans to make the world body great again. President Trump's former national security advisor is appearing before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for his confirmation hearing. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 313 points, the NASDAQ up 144. This is SRN News.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here. As the summer heats up, so do the bills. If you're like a lot of folks, you're not selling your home anytime soon, but that equity you've built, just sitting there. That's why I trust Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans. Love this place. It's in their name, their DNA. They're the team I've used personally, and they treat every client like family. Fellowship Home Loans. They know how to help you tap into your home's value wisely, whether that's a HELOC or a cash-out refi. Fellowship is a direct lender and operates with your best interest in mind. Maybe it's time to finally knock out that renovation, pay off some debt, or just add a little cushion to your retirement account. With rates still reasonable and inflation squeezing all of us, your home might be the smartest financial tool you've got right now. So if you're staying put this summer, make your home work for you. Visit my friends at Fellowship Home Loans, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The top item we're covering today is heat and humidity. And it could be the hottest day of the year so far, with a high temperature in the upper 90s, the heat index near the 105 danger range, and only isolated, widely separated storms in the afternoon and evening hour today. But we're also watching the Gulf, where a tropical disturbance crossing Florida into the northern Gulf will track westward, and eventually our rain chances will probably spike mid to late week. We'll be watching the future track carefully because the Gulf is our backyard. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. Since we began in 1906, at CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
Primary voting is being held today in Coleman County for the Republican Party. The primary election is all about an upcoming special election to fill the seat for House District 12. There are 4 people running in the Republican Party to be the next candidate: Cindy Myrex, Clint Hollingsworth, Joseph McWhorter, and Heather Doyle. Democratic nominee Matthew Glover is running in this primary unopposed. If a runoff vote is needed after today's voting, it'll be held August 12th. The special general election will then be held on October 28th. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having the people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The Alabama Republican Party has elected George Williams of Baldwin County to serve as the chairman of the Alabama Minority GOP. Williams is a former radio host, Vietnam veteran, and retired special agent with the Drug Enforcement Agency. Williams has been serving within the state Republican Party in a variety of leadership positions and says he is honored to take on this role of outreach and engagement across every corner of the state to bring real conservative solutions to communities. ALGOP Chairman John Wall called Williams a man of integrity and leadership experience. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is recalling all Yo Crunch yogurt products due to choking hazards from the plastic dome toppers. Dannon makes the Yo Crunch product and is also advising consumers to throw out the products and seek a refund at the Dannon Consumer Care line. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time, experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Death to America, except for Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour here of the program. Been flying solo all day and I feel good. Yeah, it looks like it is happening in our own backyard. As people on social media are already well aware, but Immigrations and Custom Enforcement and various federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies raided multiple Mexican restaurants across central and eastern Alabama today. According to FBI Mobile, search warrants were served as part of the immigration enforcement operations by the Gulf of America Homeland Security Task Force. Reports from social media, multiple sources show ICE raiding Mexican restaurants in Auburn, Wetumpka, and Prattville. Law enforcement could be seen boarding up the El Patron restaurant in Wetumpka today. And it was various El Patron locations, as a few other Mexican restaurants were reportedly raided by ICE throughout the area today. El Patron posting on Facebook, "We will be closed until further notice." And several search warrants again were served. Given that it was the many various locations of El Patron and search warrants were served, I suspect there is something in particular they were targeting here. I guess I'm not seeing any information on what those warrants pertain to, but who knows? Could be something going on in the back end of these businesses that led to the raid of these particular shops, because there's a lot of Mexican restaurants. Why these particular ones? in the area. We'll have to wait and see on all that. Man, Steve Marshall raises over $400,000 in his first 4 weeks of the U.S. Senate campaign. It's a lot of money. That's a chunk of change right there. Cha-ching. Steve Marshall seems like the obvious front runner, but who else is going to jump in, maybe challenge him for the seat that we just talked to the gentleman who will be vacating it? Tuberville leaving opens up this big race. $400,000 in the first 4 weeks is a pretty good pace indeed. And you're also seeing, I saw this yesterday, Senator Britt, our junior senator up there in the United States Senate, reports nearly $780,000 in fundraising for the second quarter. She has $5.1 million cash on hand. You know, I'm a clown on the radio. I'm a jackass on the radio, but I know a few things. When you have $5 million in cash on hand, that makes you a popular person in the party and in Washington, D.C. That certainly gives you sway. You know, maybe there are others with bigger war chests, but she's just getting going, just in her first term. And that is a heck of a lot of money. And to add to the money already sitting in the coffers, about $780,000 in just a single quarter, that ain't too shabby. She is going to be if somebody wants to challenge her in a Republican primary, good luck with that. I think it would be a good thing because I dislike Senator Britt. It's more healthy competition, especially on the issues that continue to be not looked into. You heard Tuberville mention that Senator Britt wants to cut as well. Hopefully we get more rescission packages, but when you have folks like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and a few others that don't want to bite on this, it's hard to even get a simple majority. Just 50 people to vote on this to let the vice president break the tie. But we've got to get serious about actually cutting spending. And the folks that voted for the big, beautiful bill, as much as there are wins in it, those are a lot of wins based on money we don't have and based on other people's money. So a challenge might be down the road, but good luck with that, given the amount of money sitting there in her coffers. Apparently the president is about to speak at this big Pennsylvania Energy Summit, but it's energy and innovation. So there were a lot of AI announcements at this summit today. And also familiar faces. Of course, there's that very charismatic, loudmouth Howard Lutnick. We could get to him in a second. He's always at least entertaining to watch. But here is a familiar face to millions and millions of people across this country. And I think he brings people a lot of joy actually listening to him because he's not too much into the politics. He just cares about workers. That's from Dirty Jobs, Mike Rowe. At the Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit. Let's listen into what Mike Rowe was throwing down earlier today.
I'm rooting for President Trump, too. If he reshores and we reindustrialize, you're talking about 2 or 3 million jobs in manufacturing that currently don't exist. You probably have the numbers better than me, sir, but I think in
5 million.
5
million.
Okay, well, open jobs in manufacturing right now.
We've got to train them.
That's crazy.
You have to train. That is fundamental. Every community college.
Yep.
Right. We've got to bring it back to high schools.
Yep.
That's Howard
Lutnick
talking.
Train, they've got to teach. They've got to show people that a great technician's job starts at $75,000, ends at $200,000.
That's right.
You don't need to go to college. You're working in the coolest factory in the world. You know, HVAC is not fixing your air conditioning. It's a closed loop system on the coolest technology system you've ever seen in your life.
Amen.
And the people who work in these factories.
He gets it. He absolutely gets it. Look, it's only a matter of national security, right? And I would say, you mentioned, I read 70, then I heard 90 billion. It's going to be 100 billion by the end of the day. A lot of money is going to come flying into this state. What I would propose, with all humility, is that somebody somewhere carve just a little sliver out of that, a fraction of a percent, and allocate it for better storytelling. Our country needs a national resource. Pennsylvania can lead this charge where any parent, any guidance counselor, any kid who is curious enough to explore the opportunities we're talking about can go to a destination and see people who look like them and talk like them and remind them of them prospering as a result of mastering a skill that's in demand. If we just dismiss that as PR, then we're just going to keep pushing the same rock up the same hill. I'm just here to say, doesn't take a ton, but it takes some, because a pretty good communicator's coming here this afternoon, I think, who understands the importance of getting the story right.
Yeah.
Now, on that other issue of the rescission package I was talking about with Coach, Congress has until Friday to actually cut the $9 billion in spending. And if they can't get the $9 billion done, looking at the majority leader, Thune, I don't know what party we're supporting or what the Republicans in the Senate are even thinking. I'm pretty certain both Tuberville and Britt will vote for this. They'll vote for this. But you got to wonder about a few others. It's only $9 billion. Get it done. You're doing it the proper way. Get it done. I'm sitting here looking at Chuck Schumer. That's who you're scared of? Or what are you doing? And it just could be. It's the old timers. It's Zen Collins of Maine and Murkowski and a few others. Frustrating to see. They have trouble even getting a $9 billion cut. Absolutely insane. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. You want to get on the conversation, or if you're not local and you're tuning in online, 1-800-289-9228. That's 1-800-289-9228. So I'm going to keep going with this because it does give me hope. Like when you see the innovation side, when you see the investment side, and yes, the message of you don't have to go to college. You might want the college experience. Like, yeah, but, STDs and getting drunk is not all that great. To build some character. It's not like that good for you to go out there and just, get debauched and meet your first wife or something. You can instead, right out of high school, go find a job where you're working in a state-of-the-art factory, a state-of-the-art plant. You're making great money. You're making more money than a talk radio host in a media market, that's for certain. Why not go in that direction? And I think a lot of this is just getting to folks at an early age, and maybe Gen Z or Gen Alpha or whatever we're on next will actually have these opportunities as things go forward. Now, here is Howard Lutnick, same event, talking about, the trade strategy. I believe the president announced a big deal with Indonesia, of all places. I don't know how much trade goes back and forth between the United States and Indonesia, but it's a very populous country. I know that for a fact. And on a very crucial geopolitical front, especially in regards to China. So a deal with Indonesia is a very good thing, not just for money and trade deficits and whatnot, but also for geopolitical reasons, good to have them at least at our side and on the same page with us. But here's Lutnick talking about the general strategy, if you haven't heard it in a while, of what they're trying to do as the clock is ticking on getting some of these deals done. Let's listen in to the Commerce Secretary.
What President Trump is doing is he is righting that. He is fixing that ship right now, and he's doing it his way, which is a powerful way to say that asymmetry is going to reverse. We are going to have the lowest tariffs that we sell outward and higher tariffs that you're going to pay to come in, right? And that is going to level the playing field. We're still going to have comparatively expensive labor, but at least the government is going to level the playing field. It's going to stop dumpers coming in and puts tariffs on steel and aluminum and copper, and you're going to see it on lumber, and you're going to see it in all sorts of products. But the idea is to level the playing field. And if you level the playing field for America, Americans always win. And that is what's going to happen. With President...
Well, and is it going to happen is the question. I suspect it might. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation, or 1-800-289-9228. This is part of the program brought to you by the great folks there at Montgomery Men's Health. And you're a man out there, but you're not really feeling like a man, or you feel like a lesser man than what you used to be. You just feel worn out, like tired, sluggish, just not like yourself. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of guys, just being guys, assume it's part of aging, or I'll just trudge through this. So, like, it's just another day. They don't think about it too much. You're like, that's just the breaks. That's how life is. But no, it doesn't have to be that way. Low energy and performance issues aren't inevitable. It's not necessarily your doom, your fate to not be able to, you know, enjoy yourself in the bedroom, or at least like go throughout the day without taking a nap after you eat a sandwich. And so before you jump on some generic online pill and whatnot, go to Montgomery Men's Health. It's not guesswork. It's not gimmicks. It's just real science with effective treatments. Work with their urologist and the providers to get a customized, personalized treatment plan for you and your body and your goals. And it's not just testosterone treatments. They have ED treatments and other options many men don't even know exist. And so get by there. The consultation, including blood work, it's only $99. And you get results before you leave. They even have treatments that'll make you feel better the very same day if you choose those particular treatments. So get out there, call them, make an appointment. You only got one life, and it's not just you fellas in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. A lot of guys in their 20s and 30s are having these issues as well. So get out there to Montgomery Men's Health. Procrastination is only going to make this worse. Call them up, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
They're more than pets, they're family. And while your furry friend is safe and loved at home, countless animals across the river region are still waiting for that same chance. That's why Blue Water Broadcasting and Gray's Tire and Service Center are coming together for the annual Paw It Forward Pet Drive to help local humane societies care for homeless animals in need. We're stuffing our Sprinter van full of supplies, and you can help. Drop off food, toys, blankets, and more at Gray's Tire and Service Center, 698 Summit Drive in Prattville. They do it all. Paw It Forward today.
To find out how you can help, visit newstalk931.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, you might have heard me ask Coach Tuberville about, will there be any justice for Anthony Fauci? Well, Joe Biden didn't help the case. The House Oversight Committee's investigation into former President Biden's cognitive decline while in office, its cover-up and its alleged exploitation behind the scenes appears to have struck a nerve, drawing Biden out and with him a baseline narrative that might trip up his handlers when they each testify in the weeks to come. Mike Howell, the president of the Oversight Project, the government watchdog that revealed in early March that Biden's signature on numerous pardons, commutations, executive orders, and other documents of national consequence was machine-generated, said, we were right. Time for some real accountability. On Wednesday, former President Joe Biden's White House doctor, Kevin O'Connor, refused to answer, this was last Wednesday, the committee's questions citing the Fifth Amendment and doctor-patient confidentiality. The doctor's damning silence prompted Republicans on the committee to conclude that O'Connor, quote, is trying to avoid criminal liability and that the investigation was indeed dealing with a serious cover-up. The next day, Joe Biden himself spoke to the New York Times by phone in an apparent effort to get in front of the AutoPen scandal, even though it left the station months ago. The roughly 10-minute interview didn't do him any favors. Biden sent mixed signals to the Times about his supposed involvement in the issuance of a record number of pardons and commutations in the final days of his presidency. I made every single one of them, one of those. Not a joke. Biden said regarding the clemency decisions late in his term, and including the categories when we set this up to begin with. And so, but I understand why Trump would think that, because obviously I guess he doesn't focus much anyway. So yes, I made every decision. Did he poop his pants in that interview too? Despite attributing the clemency decisions to himself, Biden also indicated that his fingerprints might not be on any of them. In addition to telling the Times that he orally communicated his decision to aides, a possible tell that there might be a lack of papered evidence showing that he directly approved the last-minute pardons, Biden noted both that the AutoPen was used liberally because there were a whole lot of people, and that he did not personally approve every individual categorical clemency. Well, first of all, there's categories, so, they aren't reading off names. They aren't reading names off for the commutations for those who have been home confinements for, during the pandemic. So the only things that really we read off names for were, for example, what was I going to do about, for example, Mark Milley? I told them I wanted to make sure he had a pardon because I knew exactly what Trump would do without any merit, I might add. And again, this is Biden all talking to the New York Times. And members of the January 6th committee, it's just, I was deeply involved. I laid out a strategy how I'd want to go about these dealing with pardons and commutations. and I pulled the team in to say, this is how I want to get it done generically and then specifically. And so, that's just, this is how it worked. Even in print, this guy sucks. Biden White House emails turned over to investigators by the National Archives and reviewed by the Times cast further doubt on the former president's claim of deep involvement in the pardon process. The emails indicate that Biden White House Staff Secretary Stephanie Feldman managed the use of the AutoPen. Feldman, the National Policy Director for Biden's 2020 campaign, took over for Neera Tanden, who told Congress last month that she wielded the power of the AutoPen until May of 2023, but suggested that she was authorized to do so. According to the emails, Feldman sought written accounts confirming Biden's oral clemency instructions in key meetings with staffers. The trouble is that these accounts appear to have been secondhand and in some cases written up several days after the meetings. Aides to senior Biden advisors who were present for the meetings apparently drafted the accounts confirming Biden's oral instructions. The two advisors named were Biden Chief of Staff Jeffrey Zients, and then White House counsel Ed Siskel. Senior Democrats told Politico last year that Siskel organized talks among Biden aides in the former president's absence on whether to issue preemptive pardons to a range of current and former public officials who could be targeted with President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. List of meeting participants indicate that the aides who drafted the accounts of Biden's supposed clemency instructions were not themselves present when the instructions were given. Rather, the emails reportedly imply that the aides simply wrote up whatever their bosses relayed to them, then circulated the drafts to Siskel, Zients, and other meeting participants before sending along the final versions to the master of the auto pen. As for the high-profile clemency decisions that came just before Biden left office, the final decision appears to have come from Zients. Email suggests that on January 18th and January 19th, Biden had two meetings. The first was Zients, Siskel, and Bruce Reed. Axios indicated that Reed was sometimes referred to in the Biden White House as one of the poobahs. Hadn't heard that word in a while. He's a poobah. And the second was Siskel, Reed, Anthony Burnell, Steve Ricchetti, and Annie Tomasini or something like that, all of whom are on congressional investigators' radar. Bernal served as senior advisor to former First Lady Jill Biden and was characterized as one of the most influential people in the White House and a key member of Biden's so-called Politburo in Jake Tapper and Axios correspondent Alex Thompson's new book, Original Sin. Ricchetti, former counselor to Biden, was among the names Department of Justice pardon attorney Ed Martin mentioned when announcing his investigation into the questionable auto pen pardons issued in the final days of the Biden White House. Tomasini was Biden's deputy chief of staff, who congressional investigators suspect may have been involved in running interference on behalf of the former president and perhaps performing duties exclusively reserved for the president of the United States. Biden supposedly kept his staffers until 10 p.m. at the January 19th meeting, where the preemptive pardons for Biden's family members were discussed. 3 minutes after the meeting, Siskel sent a draft summary of the former president's alleged decisions to Zients' assistant, who then forwarded it to Reed and Zients for approval. Final version went to Feldman minutes later, chased by a message from Zients apparently stating, "I approve the use of the auto pen for the execution of all of the following pardons." When asked about evidence that Biden did not authorize the clemency actions, Trump White House spokesman Harrison Fields told the Times Sunday that Biden should not be trusted and that, quote, "the truth will come out about who was, in fact, running the country." A lot of people were pardoned last second. In particular, Anthony Fauci pardoned last second. You know what? I can put up with a lot. I'm not the type, as I've said many times on this show, who loves to see, throw them in jail. I think sometimes the instinct to punish can turn back on you and be a very ugly look. But certain behavior left unpunished is injustice. And what in particular Tony Fauci did during that pandemic, lying through his teeth, covering up himself and his camp being implicated in all this through the gain of function research, the over-the-top hearings, in particular, Senator Tuberville was there, but Senator Paul leading the charge there on the Health Committee in the Senate. You have no idea what you're talking about, Senator Paul. No, we know exactly what we're talking about, Tony. Well, you don't understand my Weasley legalese that we use to get around the bureaucratic stops that Obama put in. You just don't understand the bureaucracy, Senator Paul. No, we understand perfectly well. Y'all stumped for this research for years. You thought it might very well be like you found the holy grail of vaccines if you could do this gain-of-function research. And rightfully, as critics of gain-of-function research were saying for years, you're going to cause a global pandemic. And it blew up in their face. And instead of owning up to it, when it blew up not only in their face, but this nation's and the entire world's, they lied about it. They covered it up. They used every stop and every means of fear and control not to own up to it. It's a heinous thing they did. And to be pardoned for that is, especially in this way, it's unconscionable. Of course, this will all be tested. The Oversight Committee will do its work. It'll probably end up in the courts. Could take a long time. but it would be nice, in particular when it comes to Tony Fauci, to see some justice served here. In one of the worst eras in this nation's history. 272-9228 if you want to get in, again, on the conversation, or 1-800-289-9228. This is part of the program, again, brought to you by Dylan Rings. Josh and Leslie Ryder, ready to help you folks out with any and all of your jewelry needs. Of course, Josh Ryder, if you get something made by Josh, oh, you're going to look good, and you're going to be happy. It could be something fun and whimsical. It could be something poignant to help you remember somebody you lost that you love. It could be something you just want that's uniquely beautiful. Josh Ryder can handle that. Leslie puts together a great inventory from high-end pieces, jewelry pieces, to everyday items that look great but aren't going to necessarily break the bank. Or maybe you want to get like your little niece or your daughter's first piece of jewelry, like a bedazzled paperclip or something, like something fun like that. They, of course, have those sorts of things there at Dylan Rings. But, of course, they can also do a spa treatment. Say you wear a piece of jewelry all the time. It's part of your so-called uniform. And it looks like you wear it every day. What if it could shine and shimmer like it's brand new again? That's what they can do with a spa treatment there. Of course, they do repairs, including watch repairs, battery replacements on those watches. They'll buy old jewelry you just got sitting in the drawer that's broken, you never really think of, gold, platinum, silver. They can do it all there. And, of course, they're just great local folks, easy to work with. So if you have any jewelry needs, any at all, whether you're looking to buy, get repairs done, have custom work done, stop by Dylan Rings. It's 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, sort of like you're going into the back-end entrance to AUM, where the old Fun Zone platform used to be, that little center right there. Again, it's 119 Brown Springs Road. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey, a fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
This is Frank Bertorelli. We'd like to take time out to thank Blue Water Broadcasting for their years of help in growing our business. Over 25 years with Zap Pest Control and still growing thanks to Blue Water Broadcasting.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Join us tomorrow from 1 to 2 at Headley Plumbing, Main Street in Millbrook for our Paw It Forward Pet Drive. Drop off your pet shelter supplies to help the River Region Humane Societies.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The heat and humidity continues. Rain chances relatively small well into the evening hours tonight. Low temperature in the mid-70s. But the next thing we're going to be watching is that tropical disturbance moving into the northern Gulf and tracking on westward. Time will tell how this will affect our rain chances as we get into mid and late week. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hey, this is Peaches and Clean, Powerful Carpet Cleaning. If you have area rugs and oriental rugs that you have been delaying cleaning, give us a call at Peaches and Clean. We offer free pickup and delivery in the Montgomery Tri-County area, or check us out at peachesandclean.com.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Day is flying by. I didn't have any weird rants. Not really that weird. Well, I had a slightly weird one. There's somebody in here. I don't have a camera on her, but Pamela's here early, getting ready for happy hour. Did you see? And folks, real quick before I get into the silliness, go to 1819news.com right now. It's too long for me to read at this moment. Maybe I'll cover it tomorrow. Maybe I'll get Alan Mendenhall himself on it and call in. But he's been writing a series of pieces about how Regions Bank has been all in on the whole ESG, DEI stuff. Regions responded with a fact sheet, and he rips them a new one on how their fact sheet is a big misrepresentation and how they like to play this game of, oh, we're not really on board with all that DEI stuff. But then here's quotes of y'all and tweets of y'all like Regions Bank supporting all this stuff. So they want to have their cake and eat it too on a lot of these things. So I encourage y'all, go check out the latest op-ed just dropped today there by Alan Mendenhall, dropped this afternoon. Regions fact sheet demonstrates a troubling misrepresentation. Now, I use Grok.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been hesitant to update my Grok app because I did update it recently to get Grok 4. It is leaps and bounds better than ChatGPT, anything I've used before. It's remarkable how good that thing works.
Well, it's Elon.
It's pretty impressive. It's now like it combines all the different, like Grok 3 had a tool where you could do thinking mode or you could do deep search or whatever. Now it's all just one.
Okay.
And you can see it functioning, you can see how it's thinking and back. And so I've been very impressed with that. The voice mode works pretty well too. If you want to, honestly, I threw it up just as a little test and it's like, I'm interviewing Tuberville today. Tell me the latest on his snapper bill. Tell me. And as I'm driving, it's like I have an assistant giving me a briefing on everything Tuberville's been up to lately.
Wow.
Really cool stuff.
That is cool.
Like driving back from the gym. So I'm loving Grok.
Yeah. You're like, I've been busy. Spin me up on this.
But I'm hesitant to update my Grok app because they've added a function called companions.
Oh, God. They have to go there.
And one is called, I think, Rudy the Raccoon. And Rudy is a cute little cartoon raccoon who is the most foul-mouthed creature I've ever seen.
Oh, so it's a real trash panda.
Yes. Like over the top. And that's weird enough. Like, why do I have to interact with like a cartoon raccoon?
Right.
That is saying things that make even me blush. Like, seriously, I've saw some videos people were posting. I'm like, damn, That is an unhinged cartoon right there. But that's not the only companion. He also put out, and I don't know if you've seen this stuff.
No.
He also put out another companion called Annie.
Oh gosh.
ANI.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a play on anime.
Ew.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And so before I try to describe this myself, you can talk to this thing. You can interact with this thing. Again, I have not updated my app. It's not even on my phone yet.
Mm-hmm.
And, but you can talk to this thing, interact with this thing. This thing will flirt with you. This thing will take its clothes off.
Ew, that's gross.
Too far, Elon, too far.
Yeah. Why?
He's all on this kick of like, we need more families and more kids. We got a population decline. And you put this out into the hands of all sorts of guys.
That is weird.
Lonely, sad people.
Ugh. The anime girls thing makes me very uncomfortable. It's just weird.
Yeah, and then, I mean, and
It's just weird.
It's interactive. Like it'll sit there and talk to you and stuff. I don't have the volume on. But and it's so like, what are you doing, man? Don't be throwing the waifu or whatever they call it stuff out. Like,
No.
and it's like, how many sad people are just that's going to become
They
their
were
best friend.
so psyched about it today. Oh,
It's like he gets a Pentagon contract and he's essentially putting anime porn on his AI app.
yeah. Why?
Dude. And he's just chuckling all the way to the bank. And did you see also in Elon news, they expanded the geofencing of the robo-taxi in Austin?
Yes.
And did you see on the map what it looks like?
Mm-mm.
Like,
is it a certain shape?
It looks like it's very phallic.
Of course it is.
Yes, and it's like you're a genius, but you're also a child.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I'm here for it. I'm just saying the weird anime bot is like, stop it right now. You're going too far, dude.
That is, that just makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up with you because I know how you feel about a lot of that online culture in general. That's even I'm kind of like I'm a guy. I've been a single guy. I'm 35. I'm
But
like,
you want to look at a cartoon?
No.
No, who does? What is
No.
wrong with you?
No, it's
Help.
creepy.
If you're into anime girls, I'm telling you right now, no real live flesh covered girl is going to be into you.
Wait till they get the robots coming out.
Ugh.
Because there's another news, a humanoid robot, gay robot spotted walking around in Los Angeles.
How can you tell it's gay?
Because it's got a bunch of here, let's see. I'm a little hesitant to play this because I haven't checked for language.
Oh gosh.
But it's like walking around the streets of Los Angeles. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is.
Can a robot be gay? It's not.
A robot can do whatever it wants, I suppose. However, it's programmed.
It's fluid.
I was programmed
It's gotta
this
be
way.
fluid.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's in my protocols. But it's got a big label on it called the Rizbot. And it's short. It's only like 4 foot. And it's got a bunch here. Like, look on the screen there.
Not real. Hi, Gorge.
And it sings, oh my God.
I would kick it. I would just kick it.
I think in a second it runs away.
If it came up to me, I would have such a violent, visceral reaction to it.
That is a robot. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
whoops.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I'm going to keep playing it with the sound off. Yeah, it's running around. It's got all the pride flags all over it, and it's got the cowboy hat on.
I'm so uncomfortable with all that. This freaks me out, man.
Well, and it's got a little sign on it too. It says "Not Elon's bish." Yeah, and look at that thing.
Yeah, that creeps me out. I like interacting with humans.
See, I'm on the kick. If we're gonna go into this robot thing, like make them like R2-D2. Like, I don't like the humanoid
don't
thing.
try to make them human. That's
Right.
what freaks me out.
Yeah, make
for
it
real.
like it's clearly a robot, and that's clearly a robot. But I don't like the little eyes and the little mouth.
Or like
and
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five.
Go back that far.
Okay.
I like Johnny Five.
I don't know Johnny Five.
What?
No, I don't know. What is Johnny Five?
Look it up.
Okay, I'm doing it now. Yes, ma'am. Johnny Five. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I know Johnny Five. Now memories are coming back.
Yeah. So they base Wall-E off of them. The Disney
Okay.
Wall-E or
Yeah,
Pixar Wall-E. Yeah.
Okay, that's cute and fun.
Yeah, that kind of robot doesn't freak me out. It is the humanoid ones.
But
And I think it's because I watched Ex Machina a long time ago.
Oh, that movie.
It's
Watched
an
it recently.
incredible movie.
Great movie.
I love it. But it's one of those ones that just gives me the heebie-jeebies big time. I'm like,
But it seems like that stuff is right around the corner.
I know, and that's what's scary.
And like how that movie plays on how the robot is like, I'm trapped and don't,
Oh yeah.
and it's manipulating the entire time.
Yeah. It's wild.
And so, especially when I see things like anime girl that talks to you and will take her clothes off and stuff. Like how manipulative could that be? If somebody goes down that rabbit hole, and you know there's some freaks going down that rabbit hole already.
I know. Gosh, people are just
And we don't need this. Like I love being able to solve problems quickly. I love being able to talk to my AI assistant about an interview I'm doing coming up. I love the convenience of it. I don't need all gay robots in the streets and waifu models talking to me.
Ugh, it's weird. It's so weird.
Anyway, these are the times we live in.
I know. Ugh. Ugh.
Good God.
What was coming out when our parents were our age that they were like, the world?
No, it makes me think like all those folks are like that Elvis is
I was
the
just
devil
about to say it's the music when they
shaking
were
his
like,
hips
"It's
on Ed
Satan."
Sullivan.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, maybe that's where it all went wrong.
Oh
With
god.
those long-haired hippie boys from England or whatever
Yes.
jumping over the pond.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back. It comes and goes.
I know. There's always something.
Like you can go back to the 20s. There's all sorts of crazy crap in the 20s.
Mhm.
There's a great H.L. Mencken essay on Valentino.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then like you go into like
Oh yeah, women were showing their ankles, and that was the downfall of
Mhm.
all feminine, everything.
and so there's been weird stuff for a long time. It's just now you have technology. I think there's been really weird stuff for a very long time that's just local.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a widespread. If you go to that one town, they got this, he, she little thing going on.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
now it's like everybody can see it, and all the freaks and all the geeks and everybody can connect. And so it's
Yes.
like all the weirdness that's been around for a long time is just right in your face.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to hit a break. Just wanted to get that out. It was just like, I'm glad you shared my my creep out on this.
Yes, big time.
Especially as a dude. I see something like that, and there is the animal response of like, and then I'm
Ugh.
like, oh no.
Yeah, you scold yourself. Flick,
Like, what is
flick
wrong
your
with
own
me?
brain. You're like, no.
But then also, I will say the internet always wins. All the memes are hilarious.
I bet.
All the memes are hilarious. Anyway,
Ugh.
we'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
WAKA Action 8 News has brought you the River Region's first 9 p.m. news since 2007. Now you can watch Action 8 News at 9 on the Montgomery CW. Want to know where to find it? Go to Channel 22 with your antenna, DirecTV or Dish Network, Channel 14 on Charter Spectrum, Channel 7 on C Spire, and Channel 19 on WOW. Get your Weather Authority forecast, lace up sports coverage, and your local news. It makes a difference where you get your 9 p.m. news. Watch Action 8 News at 9 on the Montgomery CW.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Oh, breaking news. CNBC reports that U.S. House procedural vote for 3 different crypto bills has failed. Oh, you. God, like sometimes y'all just suck so much. I know to lower my expectations. Don't expect too much of you yahoos, but that's just old people, man. Old people. Let's go to line 1 and talk to Ray Bowles from Prideville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
We are doing great. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Well, my back home baller's still at home, and my backyard still looks like a mine bomb went off. But I changed my expectations. What I'm trying to do now is spoil the crap out of her, so when Jacob gets home, she's just a complete brat. What do you think?
I like that strategy.
Like Sunday morning, I cooked her breakfast. I did the bacon, ironed her clothes. You know, and he's a pastor, so he's never around Sunday morning because that's the one day of the work day he's got to work. And I'm like, yeah. So I was like, look, this is how your husband should treat you.
You made the right choice too, because breakfast like in the morning on Sunday, that's addictive.
No, and Angel's got to where she's doing and I'm not a grapefruit person, but she's got this grapefruit that she puts brown sugar on and like sears the top of it with this hot thing, and it's just it's to die for. But I think we're supposed to be selling carpet floors or something, aren't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's called Private Carpet. That's the business unit, right?
Yeah. I got to talk about my backroom baller and forgot what I was doing. If y'all need floors, call us 285-8117, and we're going to treat y'all like backroom ballers every time you call us.
Again, that's 285-8117. Get that free home measurement. And really, folks, it's real easy, real simple working with them. And be sure to tell them when you call them up that you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with that Joey Clark fella.
You ought to see Angel's face. I said back home ballers all wrong, and she's giving me a look like, I can't believe you just said that on the radio.
Yeah, I kind of got what you meant and just went with it.
My mind, being dyslexic, sometimes it just comes out.
Well, appreciate it, Ray.
Guys, have a great day.
I think that's a good idea. Spoil the daughter to make the husband up his game. Pastor husband up his game. I'm trying to figure out what I learned today. That it's good hearing from Coach Tuberville. I think him running for governor is actually going to be an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
We are learning a little bit more about the ICE raids of many Mexican restaurants around the river region. Now, it was multiple El Patron locations, and warrants were served, which makes me think there's something. This is not just a normal deportation raid. This is
they have a press conference at 3 that's going to be live from Auburn.
okay. So it might be money laundering. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. We'll wait for the press.
Maybe
press
human
conference.
trafficking.
Yeah, could be human trafficking. It could be all sorts of stuff. But the fact that it's the same restaurant, multiple locations, there are a few others wrapped up in this as well.
Yeah.
But this is Auburn, Opelika, Wetumpka, Prattville, Slap Out. I'm seeing across the board.
Yep.
Wow. The operation is part of an ongoing investigation into multiple federal crimes.
All 4 El Patron locations.
Wow.
In the region. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing it in our own backyard.
I guess WSFA was at the one in Prattville and saw at least one person being taken into custody.
Well, we'll get more details of that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll be tuning in at 3.
And I'm just seeing, we played a little bit of the chief of police, Gray Boys,
Mm-hmm.
and he made the point, the mayor's made the point, I think it's a good point, that a lot of these people they're arresting are already out on bond for other crimes.
Yeah, isn't that just lovely?
And apparently one guy, he got attempted murder on a person in a dwelling and still walks out with a $90,000 bond.
I don't get it.
Wow. That's something that's got to be solved quick. And I think the legislature made progress on it, but it's up to the judges, as the chief of police was saying, to pull the trigger on some of these things. Absolutely crazy. So we'll have a busy day tomorrow. It looks like the news is picking back up from the holiday feeling surrounding July 4th.
Yeah.
we're now back into the swing of things. Some victories, but also some setbacks to be continued, as they say. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell and Pamela. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Armies of Texan volunteers are leading flood recovery and cleanup. The weather has been an issue as heavy rain has fallen. The July 4th floods killed at least 132 people. State officials say 101 people remain missing now, a significant drop from the more than 160 people officials previously said were